about that one specifically, but he stated that climate change is not real. That was the part, actually.
Oh yeah, he also doesn't believe in that either. Yeah.
I mean, there's some elements of that where I think we can kind of have a discussion on, but like that's more of like a scientific discussion actually when it comes to climate change itself. Which parts are natural, which parts are human caused, which are the biggest culprits, and which are the least culprits. Of course, I think like for instance, the only aspects of climate change that I would disagree with, like the assessments, would be that one of the major things that we should do something about is agriculture, or like anything that produces food for humans. I think it's mainly just emissions that are caused by manufacturing processes. Rather, that should be restricted as opposed to you know food resources, right? And potentially also depopulation. I kind of feel like it's a potential risk. But
Well,
that's
wait, what's
basically it.
the? Or wait, what was the? What do you mean by that?
Mean by what?
Or I'm
Which
trying
part?
to understand. You're saying that you think that which or I got confused. It sounded like you
Well,
were
I think
saying
climate change.
manufacturing and
Okay,
policies where the manufacturing stuff was what was causing climate change, but not food related stuff. Or what was the?
I'd say food-related stuff are another thing that one should target when it comes to alleviating the problems of climate, like human-caused or human-contributed climate change, rather.
Oh man, I
Like
don't
that's
know
the
where
only
that. I
things
don't
that I
know all the
disagree
major
on.
sources. I haven't done like a deep dive on that, so I don't know
Yeah.
personally. But I'm
No, no,
sure.
no. I was
I
just
mean,
like
there's a lot of. There's probably a lot of
yeah.
things where it's like there are ways to do agriculture that's more climate friendly, and there are ways to do it that's less climate friendly. That's probably true of like every manufacturing, every industry. I
Oh, of
imagine.
course, yeah. Mhm. No, that was like I was just saying, that I actually kind of disagree when people say that climate change itself is not real. I think it's definitely real. I just don't think that a lot of it is human caused. But the things that are in fact human caused, at least human accelerated rather, would be things such as, you know, manufacturing processes that output a lot of CO2. Cars, for instance, well, that's why I'm a huge proponent for EVs and changing things towards something like solar. Even though I would say that like one of the things I fundamentally disagree with is like the descale of nuclear power plants. Like those really don't cause any problems whatsoever. And solar itself is a bit difficult, requires a lot of infrastructure that doesn't exist yet. So yeah, but that's besides the point. It's just like the take on climate change that I have.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, everybody benefits from cleaner energy for a variety of reasons. Whether we're talking about climate change, whether you believe in it or not, or whether you're talking about just like cleaner air, cleaner environments, and less things like oil spills or whatever is obviously good too. But I mean, not everybody even acknowledges that it's a problem right now, or not even everybody acknowledges that it's a thing that we should deal with. So it's kind of hard to have the conversation, I guess. But nuclear energy is always good too, and pursuing nuclear energy is always good. But obviously, there's a lot of stigma around stuff relating to nuclear energy, so I don't know how we ever get over that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's like a lot of misinformation around nuclear energy. It's like this fear that the nuclear reactors themselves will like cause an excessive meltdown. Well, of course, that's a possibility. Today's nuclear reactors are vastly different than anything that came before. You couldn't even really make them melt down unless you really wanted them to. Say for instance, the only other cases I think in modern times that we've had, when it comes to like meltdowns in nuclear power plants, whereas when there were earthquakes, with the Japan incidents, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge thing. Of course, don't build your nuclear power plants near to places where potentially tsunami could come, wipe things out, and cause next level damages. Like that's an obvious given. I think that was kind of like just not the it's not a threat of nuclear power and how safe it is, but rather the incompetence of whoever decided it was a good idea to build that there.
Yeah, sure, yeah. I don't necessarily disagree. Um,
Also, apparently, Taylor Swift has just announced that she officially endorses Kamala Harris. Very interesting. I mean, everyone could kind of see that one coming, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, didn't she? I think she endorsed Biden 4 years ago, so I think it was probably pretty obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's quite democratic, I believe. I mean, just listen to some of the songs. I mean, the messages are quite clear.
Yeah, that one song she does about BLM and Chaz really hit hard.
Yeah. Exactly. I think, is Andre up here? He's got his hand up. Do you want to ask a question?
What's up, Adrian? Sure.
Up, man.
So, like, I watched the debate, and Destiny, you said with certainty that, Kamala came out on policies. Can you list some of the policies she came out in, and which ones can she not do today?
Well, the vice president of the United States doesn't really have the power to do anything. It's a role that's basically there to stand in as the president of the Senate and to take over responsibilities if something happens to the president. So I don't think she can do anything today. The three problems that Kamala identified, one was housing or for new families to own homes. The second one was for children and families, basically dealing with childcare, the expenses for new families. And then the third one was for starting up new businesses. I think on the first one, she says that they have a proposal to have a $25,000 first-time homebuyer credit. On the second one, they want to expand the child tax credit like they had under Biden. She wants to expand it to $6,000. I think it's for kids under 7 years old. And then for the third one, it was a $50,000 tax deduction for new businesses that were being started. Can you think of any that Trump gave?
So I got a follow up because this is, you said, so I assume these are all going to be done by executive order, or how do you imagine these will be facilitated?
I don't think you could do any of those by executive order. I'm pretty sure those would all have to be legislation in Congress.
So what you're saying is that it doesn't matter if it's a vice president or president. Either way, they have to go talk to the Congress.
Well, the president supporting something is more important than the vice president supporting something.
So has Kamala publicly said, hey, Joe Biden, let's support these, let's do this, let's go talk to Congress? Or does she just say we have a plan?
My thought would be that Biden would probably support literally all three of these things.
So Biden would support it.
Yeah.
Kamala supports it. They need to talk to Congress, and Kamala could do so today, but she doesn't. Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, you're saying she's not president, she's vice president, but it's not the presidency's job anyways. It's a Congress job, and Biden will support her. So why is he not supporting her today, or why is she not asking for his support and go talk to Congress? Like, this all could be done, right?
Well, no,
Talk to
that's okay.
Congress.
That's okay. I can help you. So the vice president doesn't have the ability to veto legislation as the president of the United States does. And right now, the House, which is the lower body of our legislature, is ran by Republicans who likely wouldn't pass this sort of legislation. So the idea would be, after the next set of elections, hopefully Democrats have enough control in the House and Senate, and Kamala Harris would be the Democrat-elected vice president, that if any of that legislation were to make it through our legislative body, Kamala Harris, as a supporter of that legislation, wouldn't veto it. As the vice president, she doesn't have the veto power, although I imagine Biden would agree. But with the Republican half of the legislature, I don't think that we would get any of this legislation through Congress right now.
So what you're saying is that all her three policies actually don't matter for the presidency. It just matters for the House. So the House should be the one advocating for those policies, not the president, because she doesn't have the power to do them anyways.
No, the president oftentimes advocates for a legislative agenda on behalf of their party because you're the president of the United States. You're the executive, you're the head cheerleader for your party, and you're the one that ultimately wields the power of the veto.
Is she not the leader of the Democrat Party right now? Isn't that what DNC selected? Doesn't she have the same power right now to go advocate, right? I'm not saying do executive orders, but advocate. And two, like you just said, if it's a Republican House, well, she doesn't get to implement these policies anyway. So shouldn't be riling up the, hey, go vote Democrats across the House. Not for her. Like, again, none of these policies are something she can actually do, is what you're saying. She has to get Congress to do, which she could do now.
Yeah, so right now she can't do that because, first of all, she's not the leader of the Democratic Party or whatever right now. Right now, Joe Biden
The
is the
DNC put her as the leader of the Democrat
DNC
Party.
right now
Right,
has
that-
her.
that was-
She's the candidate. She's the candidate for the next presidential election.
Right, which is the selected leader of the Democratic Party right now.
We
She's
still have a
the current
Democratic.
president,
We still have a Democrat president, Joe
who's
Biden.
no longer the selected leader of the Democratic Party. He's a president. He's a
doesn't-
Democrat, but he's
right.
no longer the
That's
Democratic
great.
leader
The,
of
Demo-
the party.
the Democratic Party is a private party in the United States of America. That's it.
Right,
Joe
and they
Biden is
selected
the
Kamala as her leader.
Joe Biden is the
just
president.
did.
Joe Biden is the president of the United States
Not
right now.
selected by the DNC. DNC did not select Biden as the leader of the party.
We're
He's
not,
no longer the leader of the party.
do you
DNC did not
understand?
select.
Do you understand right now that Joe Biden is the president? Yes or no? Do you understand that?
Listen, before you start being
Do you
patronizing, you're
understand?
talking
No, I'm
about
just
leader of the
asking you. I'm
Democratic
asking
Party.
you. Do you understand? I'm not. I don't know what that means. The president of the United
You
States right
said
now.
it. You said leader of a Democratic Party. Hold
Right
on. What
now-
do you don't know what that means by your own
Do
words?
you know that? I don't know what it means by your words. Kamala is not the chair of the DNC.
You said leader. You said leader of the
You're
Democratic
saying,
Party.
you said
That
the DNC
leader is
chose her.
nominated
You
by
said
the
that you
DNC.
said that they chose her as a leader of the Democratic Party. She's the nominee.
Yes, the DNC
what I said is that she's
chose
the
her as the
nominee
leader
for
of the
president.
Democratic Party.
She's the no. She's not the chair of the
Chosen by
DNC.
DNC.
Okay, I don't think you understand how the government works or the structure of government, which is fine. A lot of people don't,
Wait,
especially
hold on.
conservatives. But I'll
I
say it
think
again. Like right now, you said, why don't they say you should go vote for people in the House? That's what down ballot means. It means that you vote for people of a similar party. The Democrats absolutely want to take the House. That's an important thing. Having the legislature in your control is really important when it comes to passing legislation. Obviously, the same is true for Donald Trump as well. For any president, you obviously want a legislature that will work with you to pass legislation, of course.
Look, you say a lot of things and then you backtrack. You said Biden is the leader of the Democratic Party. That's no
I'm
longer
not
the
saying,
truth.
I
He's still
said
the
Biden
president.
is the president of the United States.
No, you didn't. You said Biden is the leader of the Democratic Party, and as a Democratic Party leader, the
I
Biden,
can't
the
argue with that.
president.
I don't know who you're talking to right now. I'm telling you right now what I'm saying. If you invent some position or you want to think I
You
said something,
literally just changed what you said.
I'm
But
saying
okay, that's fine.
Joe
We'll
Biden is
change
the
what you
Joe
said.
Biden
So,
is the president of the United States. Can you also hear real quick?
okay,
Because you
we'll
brought
go.
this up. Wait,
We'll go from
I've
that.
answered so many of your questions. What was one policy that Trump named tonight? Can you give me one
No,
policy?
no, hold on. You haven't
You're
named a
he's not
single
gonna.
policy
Okay,
that she can do
I
as
gave you
president. So
three.
you
I
haven't.
gave you three things.
And you just said she can't do them as president. That's what I mean. You haven't
That's
named a single policy she can do as president.
what.
Do
That's
you
not
only
what the
name
president.
policies that she
The
has to
president
convince?
can't pass legislation.
No, but a president can lock down the border or open it up. That's the whole point.
No, that's
That's
not
what
the
I'm
whole
saying.
point. Oh my God, no. Ideally, you want border policy to be done with the legislature, as
Ideally,
well.
but you don't have to.
You really
That's why
to have.
Trump
Yeah,
closed down the
no,
bio.
Trump, no. In
That's why
order
Joe
to
Biden
have,
took an 84
yeah,
Okay,
executive
okay,
orders.
okay.
not
Everybody,
true.
calm down. One after another. Okay, so I want to have it like this. He says something, you say something. He says something, you say something. Please don't trip. Please don't trip.
Yeah.
Just calm down. Okay. Destiny, can you like
Simple
finish your
question.
thought,
Yeah,
and then
just
I
a
would like.
simple question.
Yes.
I
Let's
just
do
want to
him.
know one policy that Donald Trump spoke about, that he suggested. What was one policy position of Donald Trump that he brought up tonight in the debate?
Just one? Tariffs.
Okay. Do you think that Donald Trump
Another?
Do you think that Donald Trump knows what a tariff is?
Yeah. Given he already implemented them and Democrats loved them so much, they kept them around.
Okay.
Did they
Can you
not?
tell me, how is a tariff supposed to lower prices for Americans? Why did Donald Trump seem
Wait,
surprised
hold
when
on. You
Kamala
asked your
Harris?
question. Let me ask now. Answered your question. Now let me ask you a policy. Name me one policy that Kamala is actually able to implement herself, and not the Congress, but can implement herself. Name one policy that she said that she can implement herself as the chief executive, because that's what she's running for.
What do you think an executive does?
Like implement tariffs, execute executive orders,
Yes,
negotiate
no,
with countries. Name the one policy that she said she can do herself without
I don't
going
think
to
of
Congress.
I
She's
mean,
not
like,
for chief
well, let's see.
executive.
For the office of the presidency, I mean, technically, things that she was talking about with regards to Israel and with regards to Ukraine would be things that she would be able to do on her own.
What did she say? She didn't actually say anything. She said,
Well,
we
she
must
said with
support our
Israel,
allies.
she said it's important that we go down the road for a two-state solution. She said that that's important. It's important to bring to cause a ceasefire to come about, to bring an end to the conflict right now for Ukraine and Russia. She said that it was really important that we continue to defend Ukraine. It sounds like she was supportive of the weapons that we sent there so far. So it sounds like she'll continue to advocate for that and speak with Zelensky about that. I don't know. Those are two positions, but
Okay, so just to clarify what you're saying. So her policy is two-state solution for Israel, and her policy is to keep funding Ukraine until the last soldiers die. Is that her policy?
I don't know if I would call those policy. Usually when I think of policy, I'm generally thinking of like legislature or legislature.
Let's go from soft best devs. "38 months, let's go."
Very nice. He's like blue blood. What is that, chat? The plague?
85 months, I guess.
That's a very small buckler.
You look so good today, XD.
Is that tutorial? What is this?
Can I get a welcome to the jungle, please?
What the? What the? Chat, it's kinda weird. There's something weird about it. Okay. Surge sprint. Like that? Wow, jump.
XQCL.
Okay. Chat, is there a way to skip the tutorial or not? Because I've already did this when I played the game the first time. Skill.
Stop casting.
Is that my skill right there? I can't tell. Weapon skill. I don't know.
Stop casting.
Brain slump.
Okay. It's probably better. So now I could probably just equip it like this.
XQCL.
Now I go where now?
Stop casting.
The camera adjustment speed is too slow. What? Huh?
Stop casting.
Huh? And now what? Oh, and now I can go to the top.
Stop casting.
Aha. Fire orb, pot, stone, thing. Use item. Level up. Okay. Oh, somebody's dying. I need to go res them. And then I think you have to smash them hard. Okay. Then boss. Surely.
I have thee now.
Yo, I wasn't ready for this though. What? I know how to use my skill. I gotta use my skill. I gotta use my skill. camera's bugged.
Stop casting.
The camera's so slow. Oh my god. What is these settings? Oh my goodness. Like, look at this. Oh my god, look! Look how slow. Look!
Stop casting.
Oh my god, this is oh my fucking, I've never seen in my life that this is it's so slow.
2 years and a half and 4 months until I graduate to be an electrician. Excuse now.
That's just, oh my god, that's